Opposition DPP appoints new presidential advisors. Reserve Bank Deputy Governor William Matambo bemoans rising corruption in public and private sectors. In sports news, Inspector General of Police Milini Olam awards FDH Bank Cup prize money to Blue Eagles players and team officials. My name is Happy Mzembe. Now the news in detail. The board of veteran journalist and writer Willie Nkhani, who died Saturday, has been laid to rest at Area 18 Cemetery in Lilongwe. The ceremony started with a church service at St. Thomas Anglican Church, where different speakers described Nkhani as a selfless individual with unique characteristics. Writers, government officials, and journalists attended the burial ceremony. Kasimaubi reports.
Hundreds of people, including friends, relatives, and colleagues in the media fraternity, gathered at both St. Thomas Anglican Church and Area 18 Cemetery in Lilongwe to escort departed writer and journalist Willie Nkhani. Born on March 14, 1954, Willie Nkhani breathed his last on 31st August 2024, and his remains have been buried on 2nd September at Area 18 Cemetery. In his message during the church service, Reverend Lieutenant Colonel Paul Meke, retired, described Nkhani as a great writer whose legacy will always be remembered, especially his willingness to help others. Mr. Malawi chairperson Gordon Matonga also described Nkhani as a mentor and advisor who will greatly be missed by the media fraternity. The Malawian novelist, poet, playwright, and journalist began his career in 1982 at Malawi News, and he also worked at the Ministry of Information as well as at the State House with former President Bakiri Muluzi. For Zodiac in Lilongwe, this is Kasim Aubi reporting.
The opposition United Democratic Front has set October 2 for its elective convention at Komesa Hall in Blantyre. Chairperson of the convention, Aisha Mambo Adams, made the announcement on Monday. She said the party expects to spend 140 million kwacha for the exercise, which should help it kickstart its campaign ahead of 2025 tripartite elections. Our reporter Christopher Sunday was there and now explains.
The UDF is bemoaning the current state of politics in Malawi, which is...
It is now official that the United Democratic Front UDF will hold its elective conference from 2 to 3 October this year. The event will take place at Komesa Hall in Blantyre. Chairperson of the convention, Aisha Mambo Adams, said the theme of the Indawa is towards unity, renewal, and socio-economic transformation. She said they expect to use 140 million kwacha during the convention, which will be attended by over 1,200 delegates. Mambo further stated that although the party was undemocratically hosted in 2005, they expect to do well in the next year's elections, considering that they have established strong measures to rejuvenate the party.
I am a politician. I've been a politician for more than 10 years, and I know what happens. Who knew that MCP will come back into power? Nobody knew. Therefore, we can also be there.
Regardless of gender.
One of the UDF youths, Mbiri Mlamba, has urged young people in the country to participate in the electoral process.
To the young people in UDF specifically, I would say that there is so much to look forward to in the UDF. With the establishment of the Autonomous Youth Wing, which is the only structure in Malawi, the only party with an Autonomous Youth Wing in Malawi is UDF.
During the media conference in Blantyre on Monday, the UDF also asked the National Registration Bureau to address the registration challenges in order to allow more eligible voters to cast their vote next year. Reporting for Zodiac from Blantyre, this is Christopher Sandy.
The opposition Democratic Progressive Party DPP has made advisory appointments to advise the party president on different issues. The party's publicity secretary Shadrack Namalomba says the mixture in operations of new faces and the old guard is crucial for growth and sustainability. We have a report followed by Western Guta.
Namalomba says that despite that these people lost at the recent party convention, their capabilities and experience are needed on the advisory role which others can emulate and embrace. He says they will pass on knowledge to others, thereby strengthening the National Governing Council as well as the President's position.
If you are a boxer, if you lose a game, it doesn't necessarily mean that you must quit fighting. Majority of them, even though they failed to make it at the convention, but still the capabilities could be vital in the party as such.
Meanwhile, President of Political Science Association Henry Shingaipe says he feels that unlike in the Malawi Congress Party that delegates were mandated to appoint people on other positions, those appointed in the DPP are not on the party structure because this was based on the president's prerogative. He therefore says conflicts are bound to happen and has since advised the DPP president to handle these two groups with caution.
There is a likelihood of a little bit of conflict between people who are holding directorships in those portfolios and those that have been appointed as presidential advisors.
Those that have been appointed as presidential advisors are Clement Mwale, George Chaponda, Chimwemwe Chipungu, Jean Matanga, Charles Muhango, Dayton Musa, Aaron Sangara, and Everton Chimulirenji, some on similar positions they contested at the convention. I'm Western Guta in Lilongwe.
Vice President Dr. Michael Usi has ordered the Blantyre City Council to provide him with the list of people whose buildings were red-starred. Dr. Usi said he wants the list by tomorrow in order to push for progress in dealing with the dilapidated infrastructure in the commercial city. Speaking to journalists after meeting the city council's officials today, Dr. Usi also complained of the officials' slow pace in the implementation of various projects. Christopher Sande reports.
The country's Vice President Dr. Michael Usi was at Blantyre City Council offices on Monday afternoon to push officials there to demonstrate hard work and patriotism. Dr. Usi said he is not happy with the availability of the dilapidated buildings in the commercial city. He has since ordered the council officials to provide him with a list of people whose buildings were marked Red Star for him to take action.
We are looking at the infrastructures, especially when you go to Limbi. The shops that you see there, they are not befitting, infrastructure in a city. So we are saying, yes, we know there has been an injunction and we are waiting for judgment. We respect that. But I've asked them to give me a list of the individuals that are owning those so-called shops. I'm saying so-called because they don't look, that good.
The council's chief executive officer, Dennis Chinseu, has since assured the vice president and the residents of Blantyre City that they will work hard to transform the commercial city.
In this case, as a council, we have taken the message positively and we are really going to do our best to make sure that people can really see or people can get the services that they are looking for. In terms of the buildings that were marked here, Red Star, of course it's an issue that we have discussed with the Honorable Vice President, but I want to assure people of Blantyre that the messages are very good because we are moving in the right direction.
This comes when the Red Star issue has been in court for so many years amid back-to-back injunctions where owners of the buildings were blocking the council from demolishing old and dilapidated buildings. For Zodiac, this is Christopher Sande.
As Parliament deliberations enter second week, Governor's expert Wanda Mkuche is suggesting the August House to adopt strict measures to deal with the frequent absenteeism of MPs and ministers in the House. Mkuche says it is disappointing to note that both MPs and cabinet ministers are frequently absconding in parliamentary deliberations without proper justification. Lawmaker for Shiradzuru South, Joseph Mwanamveka, last week expressed concern that a good number of cabinet ministers were not in the House to respond to MPs' questions regarding national development. Elijah Pompo sent us this report.
Social commentator Wanda Mkuche has suggested that, among others, there is need for the National Assembly to be updating the general public on ministers and MPs who have absconded deliberations of that particular day, and indeed if the absentees had given a prior excuse. Mkuche says unless that is done, it will be difficult to deal with the challenge.
So what needs to happen is the communication that the 7 ministers are available has to be made public enough that Malawians have to be in the know that such a minister was not present when a question required their answer. This is so because members of parliament as well as the cabinet ministers, they are in the house to represent the interests of Malawians.
His remarks follow a general complaint from Chiradzulu South lawmaker Joseph Mwanaveka, who observed that a good number of cabinet ministers were not in the House last week to respond to questions presented to them by MPs. However, Leader of the House, Richard Chimwendo Banda, during the previous session of the House, had accused the MPs of frequently absconding from the deliberations.
You're watching the news on Zodiac with me, Happy Mzembe. We'll be back after this break.
Life moves fast, and so should your packages. Say goodbye to waiting and hello to convenience with Post Courier, your go-to courier service. When you choose Post Courier, you're choosing speed, reliability, and peace of mind. I can always count on Post Courier for quick and safe deliveries. They never let me down.
Welcome back. The headlines as we continue. Body of veteran journalist and writer Willie Nkhani laid to rest. Opposition DPP appoints new presidential advisors. Reserve Bank Deputy Governor William Matambo bemoans rising corruption in public and private sectors. In sports news, Inspector General of Police Merinio Lam awards FDH Bank Cup prize money to Blue Eagles players and team officials. Moving on with the bulletin. Deputy Governor of the Reserve Bank of Malawi, RBM, William Matambo, says corruption in the country is significantly getting out of hand and requires the efforts of qualified and ethical internal auditors to address the vice. Speaking at the opening of a 3-day Silver Jubilee Governors Conference in Mangochi on Monday, Matambo stressed the importance of internal auditors adhering to their ethical code and conducting public interest audits. He believes that by doing so, auditors can become key agents in combating the country's corruption crisis. He explains.
The theme for their conference is Be the Change, Internal Audit in the Era of Disruption. So it's a very challenging topic, and what we expect from them is that they should be the change agents, the people who make things happen. This country is grappling with several challenges. I think some related to environmental issues, some related to corruption that is still significantly getting out of hand. So as internal auditors, we believe that they occupy a very special position in organizations, in the sense that if they focus on environmental management practices of organizations, then we are going to gain mileage. Similarly, I think if internal auditors took a hard line on corruption, we believe that corruption levels should significantly be coming down. So these are some of our key expectations, because I think the new standards that they are going to be talking about in the next few days have also called upon them as auditors to have a public interest element in whatever they do. So what the standards are saying is that beyond reporting to their organization, they should also have the people in mind, so that their work does not only benefit the organization but also benefits the population as such. So I think in a nutshell, those are our expectations, that they will go back as change agents and do what they have been asked to do during this conference.
On his part, the president of the Institute of Internal Auditors, Eric Mwale, pledged to play their role. The Governors' Conference is themed Be the Change, Internal Audit in the Era of Disruption.
To remind our internal auditors is to make sure that they take a proactive role in ensuring that there is a good governance in our organizations. We believe if we equip our internal auditors with such skills, they will be able to discover corruption or fraud happening in their organizations. So really, the message from the guest of honor today regarding the role of internal auditors, what we're trying to do today is just to equip them with the skills in terms of how they can do in order to detect fraud or indeed corruption in their organizations, and then report them to the relevant leaders such as board of directors, so that they can take appropriate action to prevent or indeed to take those involved to book.
Some children in Lilongwe have called on the authorities to put in place all necessary materials to ensure ultimate protection of children in the country. Speaking at Mpingu Primary School on Monday during Lilongwe District Commemoration of Day for the African Child, Annabel Banda said it's high time authorities turned their tank into action to protect the rights of children. Minister of Child Affairs Jean Moanowauza Sendeza says government and other stakeholders need to stop working in isolation to address the problem. And on the entertainment scene, organizers of the Burning Spear Show in Malawi, Sound Addicts Live, have called for more sponsors to come in for the show, which is scheduled to take place on October 26 in Lilongwe. Chief Executive Officer for Sound Addicts Live, Shadraki Kalukusha, says they will ensure that the show is a memorable one, as it will be the last for the reggae icon in Africa before he retires from the music industry. He says the One People Africa tour is aimed at spreading love, peace and unity.
This event is Burning Spear's African tour. We just happen to be that we are the organizers here in Malawi and the partners here in Malawi, but this is his own function. He's coming, come what may, and he's coming to perform here in Malawi for his Malawian fans. Like I said, this is something that's happening in about 4 or 5 countries, and he's sure to arrive in all those 4 or 5 countries. As of now, we're also already informed that the tickets for him to arrive into the country have already been secured. In fact, for the whole African tour, the tickets have already been secured. It's a band of 17 people. So there's no extras coming from any other country except from Jamaica. So this is his actual band, including the brass section and the backing singers and everything else that you can expect on a full live reggae band. I would say that it is an expensive event. It's very expensive to do events generally, but this is particularly an expensive event. It is an international event. It does involve local transportations for the guys. It does involve accommodations for the guys. It does involve feeding 17 people Sinsima. so it does involve quite a lot of other extra things that we have to do outside the normal local events that we organize, where we're expecting the artists to come locally from Lilongwe, and maybe the furthest being Blantyre.
We now turn to sports news. The Inspector General of the Malawi Police Service, Merin Yolam, has directed that the 35 million kwacha which Blue Eagles Football Club will receive for winning the FDH Bank Cup this year be shared by players and team members only. The top corps says the gesture is the institution's appreciation to the team for defying the odds to become the first lower league side to win a major silverware. Blue Eagles were relegated to the lower league but have stunned several top flight teams, including immediate past defending champions and losing finalists FCB Nyasa Big Bullets, to land the 35 million kwacha jackpot, which Yolam has described as a huge achievement. She explains.
As the head of this organization, I am overwhelmed by the excitement of clinching this cup. Let me remind you that this is a team that was relegated to a lower league. And coming from that side, even beating the teams that are in the Super League, to us, it's a pride. They have worked very hard. They have put their all, energy, skills, and everything. We are so excited. We are excited, but also optimistic that going forward, our future is bright. We want to motivate them. We know during their time of play, they have encountered a lot of difficulties. You need in life, when you have performed highly, sometimes you need to sit back and celebrate. We want them to celebrate with this money, but also to reflect on how they can move forward so that we keep on winning, we keep on succeeding in all the competition that are ahead of us.
Meanwhile, Central Region Football Association General Secretary Antonio Manda says Blue Eagles' achievement will motivate other teams in the region to give their best in the Castel Challenge Cup.
It's something that we didn't expect because they were facing very tough sides. You talk of Silver Strikers, you talk of Nyasa Big Blades, but here we are today. Football is always football. 11 players against 11 players. Blue Eagles are the champions, and we're happy for that. This will go a long way in motivating other teams. You can agree with me that some other teams did not expect that the team of their size will be able to get prestigious cup like this one. We are so excited, and I'm sure by the end of the day, Castel will also remain in Central Region.
And that's where we had time for in this edition of the news. Before we leave you, a reminder of the headlines. Body of veteran journalist and writer Willis Nkhani laid to rest. Opposition DPP appoints new presidential advisors. Reserve Bank Deputy Governor William Matambo bemoans rising corruption in public and private sectors. In sports news, Inspector General of Police Merini Olam awards FDH Bank Cup prize money to Blue Eagles players and team officials. Visit sodekmalawi.com for more news. My name is Happy Mzembe. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.